Peter and I are joined by Judd French. Thank you very much for joining us, rushing back. Now, Peter, you had some questions for Judd that you were itching to ask him.
I am. Judd is with the Digital Media Alliance of Florida out of Orlando. Thank you for making the drive over on that. Judd, I know you were very influential in helping to get digital media included in these tax incentives. I was wondering if you'd tell us a little bit about that process.
Sure. Well, we actually involved a group of pushing 100 people from the digital media community in a stakeholder survey. We asked them what was really important to help them grow their business, how we were going to succeed as a state. This is a statewide nonprofit industry association, and they came back, and one of the key things they said was, we'd really like you as an organization to get involved in the legislature, to advocate for digital media, to make sure that we can compete, because we were looking at incentives from other states of 20 and 30%. You know, Connecticut just changed their film office to become the Digital Media and Motion Picture Office and is offering a 30% incentive for companies to go do projects there. So we said we have got to level the playing field. We're not looking for something over and above, but let's level the playing field so our companies can compete and succeed.
You know, excuse my ignorance for a minute, but for Connecticut to change this incentive to digital, can't you do digital media production in any state? Why do we have to offer this incentive for digital media production to come to Florida? What type of things are done for that?
Oh, well, the reason you want to offer it is to make sure that the companies that are offering graphic services, animation, that are doing game development, that are doing all these things can compete. For example, we had a game company that got some great contracts. This is a very good growth year for those companies, but they've shipped some of their work to Austin, Texas because of the workforce, and this incentive is something they said would help them bring that work back to Orlando, in this case, but anywhere in Florida. We want to keep that work here, and we want to grow this industry. So that's what this incentive is about, and in fact, that's what the whole Don Davis Economic Development Act is about for the entertainment industry. How do we grow and sustain this industry?
Yeah, was it hard to convince people? Because most people think of digital media, they probably think of a website. They're not thinking about film and television, but so much of film and TV is all digital now.
Well, everything is obviously going digital. I mean, film distribution, you know, the ability to download movies, etc. Fortunately, the thing that's happened is the convergence of public awareness about digital media is much greater now. So it helped. Also, we did a 2-day exhibition up in the state capitol in the Rotunda and brought all sorts of digital media companies, schools, game developers, simulation, and said, this is digital media, this is what it's bringing to the state. Published white papers, went out and talked to all our representatives. I mean, it was a very, very active year this year. I like to say we basically went from PowerPoint to legislation in under 6 months.
That's impressive.
Well, you know, that leads me to the next question. What are some of the up-and-coming trends for digital media?
Well, if you think about it, one of the key ones is mobile media, obviously.
Right.
The things that we were looking at on our PCs, and people were saying, oh, they'll never look at that on a PC. They're now looking at it on a screen this big on a phone. Yeah. So that is huge overseas, and in fact, But
what's the quality of that? Because I was at NAB 3 or 4 years ago, and they were talking about mobile cell and watching feature film, but it's...
Well, think about this. Resolution is the number of pixels per inch, right? So if you take an image that looks pretty lousy this large and you shrink it down to this big, all of a sudden it looks very crisp.
Right.
So frankly, when you're looking at a very small image, you see an even better image quality, albeit a small one. But there are going to be over 1 billion mobile media devices sold projected in 2007 this year. Billion. There are going to be 215 million televisions, 1 billion mobile devices. And phones are being sold, people are upgrading, so they're getting video casting capability in their phones, and this is an opportunity at the turnover rate of phones for these audio, digital, and video features to come into phones.
You know, one of the things we've been talking about here today is we're losing talent. You know, they leave our film schools and our design schools here. So what are you guys doing to help retain that talent, and what else could we be doing?
Well, there's several things we're doing. One of the things, we're working directly between the schools and the industry. That's one of our key roles. I actually happen to serve on the advisory boards and chair one advisory board for the schools of digital media for a whole variety of different schools. We have a Florida Digital Media Education Consortium, which is educators across the state getting together to talk about this. And what we're working on right now is a meeting, which will be a large meeting between an advisory board of industry people and educators in October, and an annual basis going forward, to let them find out exactly what the needs of industry are, so that when they're developing their curriculum and when they're looking at how they can serve industry best, there's a real alignment. Obviously, the other thing we can do best is grow the industry.
Right.
We have to have the jobs here in Florida to make sure that those people don't have to go to LA and New York to get a job.
They can do everything here. Give us some contact information for you. And we want to have you back on again because you're just so passionate about this, and we congratulate you because you're helping us too. But give us some contact information.
Well, first of all, I do want to mention that for the incentive, you can go to 2 places. You can go to www.dmaflorida.org/advocacy, or just go to the homepage and find it, and you'll find current information and continuing information about that incentive. You can also go to the governor's filminflorida.com website, which will give you, information on a continuing basis under their incentive arena, and you can contact us, dmaflorida@cfl.rr.com, but the website gives you everything you need to know.
Excellent.
I think it's
Judd, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much for having us. We
Thank
appreciate
you
it.
for getting those 3 speeding tickets on your way back over
really.
here.
Absolutely. Well, no problem. And thanks.
Just give them to George on your way out.
Yeah,
We'll do that. And
For you.
thanks for being digital, by the way.
We are.
Appreciate that.
We are
Okay.
Tampa
Completely
Digital.
digital. In fact, you can see us on YouTube, Google, any of those websites, iTunes even, if you want to see us
Absolutely.
again.
Sure enough.